And maybe the question was never, why did this happen to me? Maybe the question is really, what now?
Yo, you should start a podcast.
The woman who stands in the middle of uncertainty and realizes she can't go back to who she used to be. Porque esa misma mujer eres tú.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I cannot even believe this. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is a Nat Said It podcast because if Nat said it, es porque alguien tenía que decirlo. Y si no, no te preocupes. Somebody on this couch eventually will. Wow. I mean, this is my first episode. This is my introductory episode. You guys, I am a woman who loves stories. I am a story. And I'm going to tell you what this podcast is not going to be about. Okay? This podcast is not going to be a relationship podcast. It's not going to be a beauty podcast. It's not going to be culture podcast or a political podcast. It's not going to be it's just not going to be a typical podcast. It's going to be all of those things, but none of those things. And does that make sense? No, it doesn't, but that's just me. I'm going to have a little bit of everything here. This is going to be healing. It's going to be learning about failing, reinventing yourself, starting over. It's going to be about the moment that we decide, I'm going to change my life. And I'm a woman that has made those decisions over and over and over again. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't have all the answers. And this podcast is not going to provide all the answers, but it's going to provide stories because women need to hear it. And I'm a woman that through some of the very, very hardest seasons of my life, listening and seeing women thrive and make it on the other side is what has helped me get up and choose I can do this, and also tell myself I can do hard things. And I have done many, many hard things in life. So who am I? I'm Natalie. Some of you may know me as Nat Killer. Some of you know me as La Salsera. If you would have asked me, who are you? 10 years ago, I would have said I'm a hairstylist. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have said I'm a salon owner. And if you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have told you I'm a mother trying to survive one of the hardest seasons of my life. And if you ask me today, I would tell you, well, I'm still figuring that out. For most of my pretty much adult life, I have been doing hair. I've been a hairstylist for over a decade. And so what happens? And I believe all hairstylists out there can attest to this, but when you are a hairstylist, you become kind of an accidental therapist. And I have had a long line of women in my chair that has, honored me with making me a part of their lives and sharing some of the deepest parts about themselves. And I have been through marriages, divorces. I have been through losses. I have been through betrayals. I have been through baby showers. I have been through women that have lost their babies, going through pregnancy, infertility. I have had women in my chair that, although my chair is a place that my talent has brought them to, what has kept them in my chair and what has created a safe space is the relationship that I have built with them. And throughout my career, although becoming a hairstylist became something in the beginning that was just exciting because it was creative. It was something that I absolutely fell in love with. It's something that I became really good at very, very fast. When I first started doing hair is when social media really started coming about. I really started to take advantage over Instagram. I started to put myself out there. Um, and I have clients to this day that have been with me since day one of me picking up a pair of scissors. And so my clientele, they have grown with me as well as I have grown with them. And they have taught me so much about life. And let me tell you, it's really crazy because the same women that have come to me to ultimately leave feeling beautiful and having beautiful hair are the very same women that I don't say it enough, and they probably have no idea that when they leave, I'm inspired and I'm reminded I can do hard things. I can get through it. And so I take it very seriously also when women sit in my chair, because not only am I a friend, a safe space, a confidant, but I'm sometimes the voice of reason when they are in a period where nobody understands them. They can't talk to anybody about this, but they can talk to their hairstylist. And I'm so blessed that I have been that person for them. And it's a big responsibility because words are powerful. Words and language and what you choose to tell someone in a very vulnerable time in their life can either hurt them or help them. And I have taken that responsibility very serious to make sure that in those moments where my clients have trusted me to hear something that they need to hear, that I tell them with discernment. And it's really full circle because really I do this without having any idea that life would happen in such a way that I would look in the mirror and the same hairstylist and the same women that is giving strength, inspiration, encouragement, um, and love to get them and push them to what they need to believe in themselves. And this is all coming from me, the same hairstylist that's doing that ultimately at one point became the same person that looks in the mirror and I can't even recognize myself. I don't even know who I am. I don't know who this strong girl is. I don't know where she went, but it's insane because in the middle of not knowing who I am, not knowing who is that girl, who is that Natalie, that brave, strong, resilient Natalie that doesn't take anything, that has a spine, that would never be in this situation that she's in. The Natalie that would look at other women going through what she's going through and saying, that could never be me. That girl, it was me, plus tax. And so I say all of that to say that life has been very humbling and it has been so beautiful. And I'm very thankful that I have had women share their experiences with me, women that have trusted me, because those women, when they have come back and sat in my chair and had no idea that I was still showing up to be this person for them. That person that they needed, I was in search for. And doing hair and picking up scissors and calling women beautiful was a reminder to myself that that girl that they love and depend on, she's still here and she's going to figure it out. And I'm here today because although I'm still figuring it out, I have come a very, very long way. And ultimately, what has become a gift of learning how to create safe spaces for women and uplift women has ultimately been the same kind of push and the same love that has guided me to make a decision that really was out of survival. Listen, life's. And we need to think quick, we need to think fast. And so I made a decision, becoming a mother again, having two little boys watch me, having two little boys watch me in a time in my life that I didn't really quite recognize myself. I needed to figure something out. I needed to bring stability, and I needed to ask myself something that's very important. I needed to ask myself this: is the life that I'm living today sustainable? My environment, is this adding to my highest good? Or is this going to continue to break me down? And again, I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. The question that I asked myself: is the life that I am living sustainable? And at the time, it wasn't, because I quickly foresaw the trajectory of where my life was headed at the time. And I said, I better think of something, and I better think of something fast. And that was intuition. And I am so happy that, you know what, y'all, I have made some good decisions in my life, some poor decisions in my life. But you know what I have always had with me? I've always had my intuition. And intuitively, I learned to listen to that voice and I learned to act on it. And ultimately, I had no idea that that decision that I made out of survival to go back to school, going back to school and making a decision to step away from being behind the chair, something that, I mean, being a hairstylist has brought me to high places. It has brought many people to me. It has trained me to build relationships. But I needed something also to secure me, to secure my family. I needed something that I could depend on, that is an expansion of something that I was already doing, which is my business is people. And so that was it. My cosmetology my cosmetology license isn't something that I am putting away, and it's not something that I'm walking away from, but it's something that I'm expanding. And ultimately, my cosmetology license has given me access to higher education. And so I made that decision and I decided to go back to school. And something really beautiful started to happen. I started to find that girl again. That girl that everybody knew. The girl that is the strong girl, the brave girl, the courageous girl. The girl that wouldn't allow anyone to step over me. That girl. I found that girl in classrooms. I found that girl through professors that looked at me and told me Natalie, you're smart. You have you have something to offer. Um, I had professors that believed in me. And in the middle and in the thickness of literally completely thinking that I lost myself, it was through education that I started to find myself again. It was through writing papers that I started to explore other parts of me that deserve to be explored. I started healing when I decided to go back to school. And you know who I was healing? I was healing 13-year-old Natalie that was in classrooms that I didn't think I belonged in. I started to heal Natalie that didn't think that she was smart enough. And I started to discover a Natalie who was adequate. And the deeper that I got in school, I mean, the more that I started to realize I love learning. I love learning. I love research. I love writing papers. I love learning how the mind works. I love learning systems. And what started out as a practical decision and a decision I made out of survival became healing. It became proof that I was capable of so much more than I had given myself credit for. And so today I'm still a hairstylist. I'm also a social work student. I am a mother of two beautiful boys. I'm a friend. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a girl's girl through and through. Having gone through what I have gone through, at this point in my life, I am a woman that sees the value of women friendships, of community, of being vulnerable, of having someone that you can speak to and keep it real with. And that's what this is about. That's what this podcast is about. This is why I decided to do this. You guys, this was just a summertime project. I'm off for the summer. And I mean, clearly I'm psychotic because I'm so used to being so high functioning that they gave me the summer off for school. And what do? I come up with a passion project. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. Because, like I said, this is what this is about. This is about women with stories. Women that decided the moment that they decided change, the moment that they decided they were going to leave, the moment that they decided that they were going to stay, the moment they decided, I'm going to have to pivot. Stories. I'm a storyteller. You guys know I'm a storyteller. A lot of you all that follow me because of my stories. And I'm going to be inviting women on here that have a story as well. So the next several episodes, you guys, you are going to meet absolutely incredible women. Women that have stories, obviously, that they are successful, but who are they behind that success? Lessons that they had to learn. Stories that we need to hear. Stories that we need to uplift as women y as Latinas también, porque hello, yo soy Latina. And really, aside from all of that, y'all know I'm a clown. You guys know that I love to laugh. And I still laughed. I still laughed after I cried. That's the type of girl that I am. Humor has brought me through much. I have learned to laugh at myself. I have learned to not take myself so seriously. I have learned that as much as this is my life and this is about me, I'm at a point right now, you all, that I am realizing that this is much bigger than me. This is not for clout. This is for purpose. This is for intention. This is for impact. And this is to pay it forward. To pay it forward for the women that sat in my chair that don't even know that their stories are the stories that I told myself, lying in bed wondering, how the fuck am I going to do this? And remembering so and so. Remembering my girls. Remembering my clients. Remembering the women that have just opened their hearts to me and have shared with me their stories. And it's the same stories that brought me through a lot in my life. And so this is it. I'm going to be sharing my own story. This is a nutshell, a little bit about who I am and why am I doing this and why now. A little bit of viewer expectations, what you all can expect. And that is the purpose and that is the intention of the Nat Said It podcast, because I say a lot of things. Like I said, if I said it, someone was thinking it. And if you haven't said it, maybe this can be the place where you can say it out loud. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you for joining me. Be brave, be curious, be courageous. And I want you to remember one thing. You can start over again and again and again. And you don't have to wait for a Monday. You don't have to wait for a new year. But today doesn't have to be the tomorrow that you settle for. And I want you to remember that. So stay tuned. We have an incredible season for you. And that's going to wrap up this first episode of Nat Said It.